Welcome to chess, ladies and gentlemen. Man, you guys know you can't compete with my dance skills. Don't even try. It's a lost cause. So as you guys know, we have the SuperUnited Croatia going on right now. And so I have a game between Šarić and Wesley So. And this is actually a crazy game because somebody escapes the jaws of death in this one. Lucky them. But all my people that are coming from the Philippines, I would say maraming salamat. Anybody who is coming from Croatia, I will say hvala. I appreciate you guys very much for stopping by. If you guys are ready to go, let's take a look, see what we got for this game, son. All right, so we got knight to f3. This is called the ready, but you know it almost always transposes into something else. We do see the move d5. We got g3, and we do have the beginnings of the King's Indian attack. A lot of you guys like playing it. Some of you guys don't like playing against it. I don't really mind it myself. We got knight going to f6. We got bishop to g2. We got e6. So you can see that black is kind of trying to, you know, set up a structure that kind of blunts this bishop a little bit. You definitely don't want the bishop to just be having free range on the whole entire board. We got castles by white. We got bishop e7, d3. We got castles by black. Knight b to d2. We see the move c5, and we got e4. And this is the very typical setup of the King's Indian attack. It can kind of take different forms, but there is some general ideas that, you know, you kind of play it as a setup, you know, against whatever your opponent plays. So you see that Wesley So is kind of trying to get as much space as possible. You'll see him continue to do that just against it, because it is somewhat, I mean, it's solid, but it is somewhat passive to play that way. We do see knight to c6. We got rook over to e1. We got b5, like I said, getting some more space. We got the move e5, knight goes back to d7. So we kind of have like a little bit of French advance type ideas going on. The knight goes down to f1. We do see the move a5, getting ever more space. We got the move h4. We got b4. We got knight 1 to h2. We got queen to c7. And then we do see the move bishop to f4. And, I mean, even though it's not absolutely on the board as of right now, you know, we have stopped the move g5 to try to deflect our pieces, to try to, you know, get us one of these central pawns. You know, black would have to try to do something like that. But, you know, like I said, we do have that h-pawn kind of holding things down. We got the move a4. We got a3, pawn takes, and then we have pawn takes a3. And some of you guys might be wondering, okay, why wouldn't I take with the rook? Like, I mean, that's going to, like, put some pressure on this weak pawn, right? Well, the problem is black has a move that kind of exploits rook taking a3, and that is the move c4. And you can see that now, you know, the bishop has just opened up on this rook, so now you have to move it again. So you have to look at positions, and you have to try to see, okay, if I make a certain move, is it going to be attackable on that square type deal? In general, yes, rook taking a3 probably would have been better, but not in this particular case. So that is why we do see pawn taking a3. We got bishop going to a6. We see the move h5. That way, we don't really see the h6, g5 situations rolling up. We got the move h6. We got queen going to d2. We got the rook f to c8. We got knight up to g4. And, I mean, you know, white's putting a little bit of pressure on this king side. What you do notice probably as black is that, you know, black has a lot of pieces kind of hanging out on that side of the board. And so, you know, the king is a little bit under defended, and that usually lends itself to some sacrifices. We got queen going to d8. We got the move c4, pawn takes c4, and then we do see bishop taking h6. The sacrifice I was telling you about. You really kind of want to be careful. You absolutely do not want to take this bishop. You know, we see the move c3 in the game, trying to like dislodge the queen a little bit. But we do see queen to f4. But like I was saying, you really don't want to take here because this is going to be absolutely great for white. We would see pawn taking h6 and then knight taking h6 with check. We would be seeing king down to g7, and then we do see rook to e4. And this is very, very dangerous. Black really doesn't have like a great way to kind of defend this position. I mean, they might have to kind of like sacrifice here to kind of clear some pieces over there. But like I said, you do kind of have black's pieces kind of on the queen side just a little bit too much. But we do see the move c3, queen going to f4, like I said. Bishop takes d3. We see knight up to g5. We got queen going over to f8. We were being a little bit sneaky, trying to see if we can hit this pawn right here with check. And then that would be checkmate, and the game would be over, and we would go ahead and get lunch or whatever. But we do see that. Bishop takes c6. We got rook taking c6. Queen going down to f3. And this is a double attack. Pawn takes h6. And we do see the very cute knight takes f7. And we actually see, we notice that white is attacking this bishop right here. And we do go the move c4 to protect that bishop. You absolutely, under zero circumstances ever, want to go queen takes. Because no! Knight takes h6 check. And you are going to be losing your queen right here. That is absolutely not where you want to be. So like I said, we got knight taking f7, and then we do see the move c4. We got knight g taking h6 with check. We got king going over to h7. Queen takes c6 with, well, not with check. Queen takes c6. We got knight going down to c5. So one thing you should notice from black, though, is they are kind of coordinating their pieces quite a bit. So that is definitely something that is pretty nice. We do see the move g4. We got rook going over to c8. We got queen down to g2. And, I mean, this is actually a very, very good position for Šarić. He's actually had a nice advantage for quite a while now. So we're going to see if he can maintain it. We got the move queen to g7. And the unfortunate thing about this move is it absolutely completely loses the game. It is up to Šarić if he can actually find the correct path to play. So I will put this question to you. If you want to pause the video and try to see the killer winning move here, go ahead and do so. Okay, so what you guys probably should notice from the black side is that the king, as of right now, is stalemated. The king can't move anywhere at all. So the king has very limited movability. So one of the ways that you could try to exploit that is basically by pushing pawns. Black, like I said, because they have their pieces really kind of more on the queen side, they're not really in a position to really attack white. So the move here in this position that I'm looking for is the move f4. You are going to be putting black in a very, very dire position. The absolute best move is to go rook to f8, but you do have g5. And, I mean, you do have ideas of rook to e3, just taking care of this bishop so that you can push the move g5. And the queen is going to have to take, and then the queen takes, and that's checkmate, and that is the end of the game. So this is absolutely not where you want to be, and this is 1000% the winning line for white. Somehow, Šarić does not find this. I'm not sure 100% why, but he just goes rook a to c1, and he just kind of goes after this pawn right here, which is like, nah, don't go after the pawn, bro. Like get the checkmate, homie. So we do see rook to f8, and so you can see that Wesley So is kind of getting his bearings in this situation. That is definitely a winning idea, rook to f8, attacking this knight. We do see rook taking c3, and like I said, I'm really kind of not understanding like why you would kind of like look at the pawn and say, hey, I want to grab a pawn. I mean, but anyways, we do see a bishop going down to g5. We got the move f4 here. Bishop takes h6. We got knight taking h6, and then we see rook taking f4, and then we got g5. And as crazy as it looks, white is up an entire pawn and an exchange, but Stockfish absolutely hates white in this position. And they even have all this material, so it's really kind of crazy, man. But what you'll see coming up is the coordination of the black pieces is just too much even for these double rooks. And plus, you really don't have any good ways to kind of penetrate into black's position, you know, if you are white. We got queen going to a7. You absolutely want to move this king out the way because there's a discovered check incoming. So we do see king going to h2. We got knight over to e4. And like I said, I mean, look at the coordination of these pieces. You know, right where we're at right here. I mean, you know, you're stuck in the middle of the board. Like, you got this knight hitting this one here. The queen has an ability to start coming in and stuff like that. This bishop is anchored heavily. We do see knight going to g4. We got rook taking g4. And so you're sacrificing the other exchange because you're like, I don't even need rooks, dude, at all. Queen takes g4. We got queen going to f2 with check. And you see that this is absolutely deadly. I mean, we got pieces kind of hanging everywhere for white. This is absolutely not where you want to be. King goes to h3. We got queen to e1 with check, taking a piece. We got g6 with check. We got king to g7. We got h6 to check. So Šarić is just throwing the kitchen sink at Wesley So, hoping that maybe he kind of like, you know, plays the wrong move. King takes h6. We got queen going to f4 with check. We got knight going back to g5 with check. We got king down to g2. And we see bishop e4 with check. And it is in this position that Šarić resigns the game. Your rook is hanging. I mean, pretty much on all variations, you are checked at this point. And so this rook is going to be basically hanging next move. So you're going to be just pretty much down. Like, I mean, let's say, for example, like, I mean, you go like king to h2 or something. Like, it doesn't even really matter. Like, you're going to be dropping this piece. And, I mean, you have a queen versus all these pieces, man. So it's like, this is obviously what Stockfish is like seeing. Like, hey, bro, this is not really where you want to be going. Like, so, but like I said, man, backing up into that position that we had, man, this F4 was pretty killer, man. Black really doesn't have a whole lot of options. Like I said, I mean, you have the rook to F8. You're gonna go G5. I mean, you're forcing. The problem is, like, it suggests that you do this, and then after this, you got a fork right here. It suggests that you do all of this. You have to give up this piece. So now you're giving up one of your bishops. Now you don't have double bishops anymore. White has double rooks. They're going to be able to start kind of penetrating into the position. Pawns are going to start dropping. Like, it's just not absolutely where you want to be. So, like I was saying, one of these players escapes the jaws of death, and it was Wesley So. So that is fortunate for all the Wesley So fans out there that he escaped. But I know Šarić was like kicking himself on this one. Like, man, why did I do that, bro? But anyways, all my people that are coming from the Philippines, I would say, maraming salamat the king makaibigan. Post na nudo inga king my video. Hello ulit. Messiah, call me Kitty King Mooley. I appreciate very much seeing you guys again. Anybody who is coming from Croatia, I will say Hvala. I appreciate everybody very much for stopping by, and I'll see you guys next time.